Good morning students. This is a video for the students of class 8th, subject science. We were studying chapter number 11, that is force and pressure. It's your lecture number 6. In this lecture, we will discuss the NCERT questions. Okay. First question is, give two examples each of situations in which you push or pull to change the state of motion of objects. Means you have to give examples in which by applying force you can change the state of motion of objects. So the situations are, first situation is, there is a wooden block kept on the table and you have to shift it to the other side of the table. So if you push a wooden block which is lying on a table in particular direction, this results that some force is exerted on a wooden block. Means you apply some force on a wooden block. And by applying force, the motion of a wooden block changes. Right? By applying force, the motion of the wooden block changes. So this is your first situation. Second situation is, there is a football kept on the ground and a player wants to change its position. Means when a player push the ball by his or her foot and kick the ball with the application of force, this results in the change in motion of a football. Means when you kick the football, means when you apply the force on the football, then the motion of a football changes. Okay. Now we consider the situation in which by pulling, the state of motion of objects are changed. So first situation is, there is a book kept on the table as shown in this picture and you have to lift it through some height. Okay, there is a book on the table and you have to lift it through some height. So if you pull the book and lift it through some height, this results that the force is exerted on a book. Okay, a force is exerted on a book and this action changes the motion of a book. Means by applying force on a book, the motion of a book changes. Okay, so in this situation, by pulling, the state of motion of object change. Second situation is, there is water in a well and you have to draw the water from a well. So to draw the water from a well, we use a rope. Means with the help of rope, you will pull the bucket up to draw the water from a well. Right? You will draw the water from a well with the help of rope. This results that the force is exerted on a rope to draw bucket of water. As shown in this picture, that we apply force on the rope. Means the force is exerted on a rope to draw bucket of water. So in this way, the state of motion is changed by pulling the object. So this is a situation in which by pulling, the state of motion of objects are changed. Question number 2. Give two examples of situations in which applied force causes a change in the shape of an object. Means in this question, you have to give examples in which by applying force, the shape of an object can be changed. So the two situations are, This is your first situation, that there is a lump of dough on a plate, and when you press it down with your hands, it changes its shape due to the application of force. Okay, due to the application of force applied on it. Means when you apply force, then the shape of the dough changed. Second example is, there is rubber band suspended freely from a fixed hook or nail on a wall. It means when you pull the rubber band from its free end, what happens? On pulling the rubber band, the shape of the rubber band changed. So when you pull the rubber band from its free end, it causes a change in shape due to the application of force. So it changes its shape. And why it changed its shape? Due to the elasticity of this material. Okay, it changed its shape due to the elasticity of that material. Okay, so these are the two examples in which by applying force, the shape of an object can be changed. Question number 3. Fill in the blanks in the following statement. A part is, to draw water from a well, we have to pull at the rope. Right? To draw water from a well, we have to pull the rope. B part is, a charged body dash an uncharged body towards it. So the answer is, a charged body attracts an uncharged body towards it. Okay, a charged body attracts an uncharged body towards it. C part is, to move a loaded trolley, we have to move a loaded trolley, we have to push or pull it. D part is, the north pole of a magnet blank the north pole of another magnet. So the answer is, the north pole of a magnet repels the north pole of another magnet. In a magnet there are two poles. One is south pole and other is north pole. So the north pole of a magnet repels the north pole of another magnet, because like poles repel each other and unlike poles attract each other. And in this, the north pole and north poles repel each other. Okay. Question number 4. An archer stretches her bow while taking aim at the target. She then releases the arrow, which begins to move towards the target. I repeat, an archer stretches her bow while taking aim at the target and then releases the arrow, which begins to move towards the target. So based on this information, you have to fill the gaps in the following statement using the following terms. Terms are muscular, contact, non-contact, gravity, friction, shape, attraction. So the first statement is, to stretch the bow, the archer applies a force that causes a change in its. So the answer is, when the archer applies a force, it causes a change in its shape. Okay. B part. The force applied by the archer to stretch the bow is an example of dash force. So, the force applied by the archer to stretch the bow is an example of muscular force, because the force is exerted by her muscles. Okay, so this is an example of muscular force. C part, the type of force responsible for a change in the state of motion of the arrow is an example of dash force. Okay, which type of force is applied on it? So it is an example of contact force. Okay, it is an example of contact force. D part is, while the arrow moves towards its target, the forces acting on it are due to dash and that due to dash of air. So the answer is, when the arrow moves towards the target, the force acting on it are due to gravity. Okay, the force acting on it are due to gravity and due to friction of air. Question number 5. In the following situations, identify the agent exerting the force and the object on which it acts. State the effect of force in each case. You have to state the effect of force. A part is, squeezing a piece of lemon between the fingers to extract its juice. Answer is, when a piece of lemon is squeezed with the help of our fingers to extract its juice, means that there is a force applied due to muscles. Means we applied force by our muscles for squeezing a lemon, and which is termed as muscular force that acts on the lemon. Okay, and the effect of force change the shape of the lemon. Means by the muscular force, the shape of the lemon changed, as shown in this picture. B part is, taking out paste from a toothpaste tube. So the answer is, when a toothpaste tube is squeezed with the help of fingers to take out the paste from its tube, it means for doing this there is a force applied due to muscles. Means we applied force by our muscles, which is termed as muscular force, and it is acts on the toothpaste tube and change the shape of the toothpaste tube. So in this example, in this situation, the muscular force is acts on the toothpaste tube and the shape of the toothpaste tube changes. C part, a load suspended from a spring while its other end is on a hook fixed to a wall. This situation is shown in this picture, that a load suspended from a spring and the other end of the spring is fixed to a wall. Okay, so in this case, the weight or gravitational force of the load that is suspended to a spring acts downwards, because the gravitational force is always acts downwards, right? And the gravitational force acts due to the gravity of the earth. As a result, the effect of force changes the shape of the spring. Means the gravitational force which is acting on the load changes the shape of the spring. This means the spring gets in its stressed position. Okay, the spring gets in its stressed position, and by the force the shape of the spring changes. Shown in this picture that the shape of the spring changes by the effect of force. D part is, an athlete making a high jump to clear the bar at a certain height. So the answer is the feet of athlete exerts muscular force on ground. Okay, the feet of athlete exerts muscular force on ground, which pushes the ground, and this allows him to jump over the bar. Means by the muscular force he can jump over the bar, and as a result his state of motion gets changed. Okay, as a result his state of motion gets changed. So here force is muscular force and effect is change in motion of athlete. Question number 6. A blacksmith hammers a hot piece of iron while making a tool. How does the force due to hammering affect the piece of iron? Question is, how does the force due to hammering affect the piece of iron? So the answer is, when the iron is heated, the particles present in iron get loosened and reduce its strength. Means on heating, the strength reduces. And we know metals are malleable. Malleable means it can be beaten into thin sheets. Right? So when a blacksmith hammers a hot piece of iron while making a tool, it can be beaten into thin sheets because metals are malleable. And due to the hammering force, the arrangement of the particles of the iron gets changed. Okay, due to the hammering force, means the force which we applied by our hammer. By this force, the arrangement of particles of the iron gets changed. Means simply we can say the force can change the arrangement of the particles. Okay. Question number 7. An inflated balloon was pressed against a wall. After it has been rubbed with a piece of synthetic cloth, it was found that the balloon sticks to the wall. Means we rubbed the balloon with a piece of synthetic cloth, and after that the balloon was pressed against the wall, and by doing this the balloon sticks to the wall. So what force might be responsible for the attraction between the balloon and the wall? So the answer is electrostatic or electromagnetic force might be responsible for the attraction between the balloon and the wall. Okay, we can say the electrostatic force or electromagnetic force might be responsible for the attraction between the balloon and the wall. Because when an inflated balloon rubbed with a piece of synthetic cloth, it gains a charge. Means some charge is accumulated over that inflated balloon. And after acquiring charge over balloon, it is then pressed against a wall, that is uncharged body. Okay, the balloon becomes charged on rubbing with the synthetic cloth, and then it is pressed against a wall that is uncharged. On doing this, there will be an attraction between an inflated balloon, which is charged body, because we rub this balloon with the synthetic cloth, then it becomes charged, and the wall which is uncharged, and that causes a force between them, and this force is termed as electrostatic or electromagnetic force. We already discussed the force exerted in between the charged body on another uncharged body is called electrostatic force. Okay, so the electrostatic force is responsible for the attraction between the balloon and the wall. Question number 8. Name the forces acting on plastic bucket containing water held above ground level in your hand. Discuss why the forces acting on the bucket do not bring a change in its state of motion. So first of all, you have to write the forces which is acting on a plastic bucket when it is held above ground level. Okay, and then why the force do not bring a change in its state of motion. You have to tell the reason for it. So the answer is, take a plastic bucket containing water kept on a ground. First of all, we take a plastic bucket. So we apply a force that gets from our muscles in our body termed as muscular force on a plastic bucket containing water in our hand to hold above the ground level. It means we have to apply muscular force on a plastic bucket to hold above the ground level. So there is a force acting due to gravity that pulls the bucket towards the ground. Means we apply a muscular force to hold the bucket above the ground, and at that time there is another force which is acting due to gravity, and this force pulls the bucket towards the ground. So the muscular force and the force due to gravity acts in opposite direction, because the force due to gravity means gravitational force. Okay, means the gravitational force and the muscular force acts in opposite direction. So the net force acting on the bucket is 0, because they are equal forces and acts in opposite direction. So the net means total force, means resultant force acting on the bucket is 0, because they act in opposite direction and they are also equal. So therefore the forces acting on the bucket do not bring a change in its state of motion, because the resultant force is 0. Gravitational force is acting downwards and the muscular force is acting upwards. So these two forces are equal and acts in opposite direction, and when the forces are equal and acts in opposite direction, then the resultant force will be equal to 0. So that's why the bucket do not bring a change in its state of motion. Question number 9. A rocket has been fired upwards to launch a satellite in its orbit. Okay. Name the two forces acting on the rocket immediately after leaving the launching pad. Okay. Name the two forces acting on the rocket immediately after leaving the launching pad. So the answer is, first force is gravitational force. Okay. And second force is frictional force. The gravitational force and frictional force are the two forces acting on the rocket immediately after leaving the launching pad. Let's see how these two forces acts. So there is a force acting on the rocket due to Earth's gravity that pull the rocket. Means the gravitational force is acting on the rocket. Okay, and due to this gravitational force pulls the rocket towards the ground. Okay, and there is another force acting on the rocket due to Earth's atmosphere. Okay, means the Earth's atmosphere also acts force on the rocket, which is termed as frictional force. Okay, which is termed as frictional force. So first force is due to gravity, that is gravitational force, which pulls the rocket downwards, and the second force is frictional force, okay, which is due to the Earth's atmosphere. Frictional force always acts in opposite to the direction of other force acting in. It means the direction of frictional force is always opposite to the direction of other force, like the applied force, like the gravitational force. Okay, in this case the frictional force opposite to the gravitational force. Okay, so this force opposes the motion, because you know that the frictional force always opposes the motion of an object. So two forces are acting on the rocket. First is gravitational force and second is frictional force. Last question, question number 10 is, when we press the bulb of dropper with its nozzle capped in water, air in the dropper is seen to escape in the form of bubbles. Once we release the pressure on the bulb, water gets filled in the dropper. The rise of water in the dropper is due to, these are four options. First is pressure of water, second is gravity of earth, third is shape of rubber bulb, and the last option is atmospheric pressure. Okay, so the answer is the rise of water in the dropper is due to atmospheric pressure. So the reason is, when we press the bulb of dropper, there is a force applied on the bulb of dropper with its nozzle capped in water. Okay, some force is applied on the bulb of the dropper, and there is a pressure exerted on the bulb of a dropper, and the air present in the droppers comes to escape in the form of bubble. Means the air which is present in the dropper, it comes to escape in the form of bubbles. When we release the pressure on the bulb of dropper, the pressure is acting on the water. When we release the pressure is acting on the water due to the atmosphere. Okay, the pressure is acting on the water due to the atmosphere, which forces the water, means which apply the force on the water and results in the rise of water in the dropper. So here the pressure is acting on the water due to the atmosphere, or only because of this pressure the water rise in the dropper, and the pressure exerted by the atmosphere is called atmospheric pressure. That's why we are saying that the rise of water in the dropper is due to atmospheric pressure. Okay, so students, now this is your homework. Do NCERT questions in your fair notebook and revise all the topics. Okay, revise all the topics.